In this episode of Gothic Gardening, I'm going to talk about the Dracula Dark Angel Dahlia, also known as the Vampire Dahlia, and also known as Pulp Fiction. This is probably the most Gothic sounding plant I've ever bought. Based on what I found out, these are called tubers, and I ordered some online, and these came broken, so they didn't survive. They're not going to do anything. They have to come tied together, kind of like the ones you see on the left side, but these are also missing parts, so they didn't survive. I'm just going to get rid of them. So one I planted in my front yard, and then the other one I planted it here in this pot, and you're not supposed to water the soil in the beginning until you see the first shoot, then that's when you start watering it. Very interesting, I think. This is the vampire dahlia I planted in front of my house. Interestingly, it only gave me one flower, a very majestic one. I was expecting more. I was hoping that the buds beneath that flower would open up as well, but they never did. So what happened eventually, the sun took its toll on this poor plant and it scorched it to death. It burned. And the reason why I placed it there, because I had read somewhere that these are sun-loving plants and that they need a lot of sun. So they do need sun. I could see that, but too much sun is bad, obviously. And uh, it's beautiful. It's a very beautiful plant. I love the black looking or like the dark foliage with that very beautiful red flower and those black stems or dark stems and stalks. It's just a very beautiful plant. And as you can see there, that's where the sun started burning it, and just eventually it was too much sun. And so this is the other one that I had planted in the pot, so it didn't survive either. It died. So again, the sun scorched it to death. So what I ended up doing, I just chopped it down and got rid of it. And then eventually nothing ever happened, and I forgot about it completely. I never watered it, and I'm going to show you what happened next. A year later, this is the same plant. Though it's an annual, it actually came back, and I had forgotten about it. I forgot that it existed. I stopped watering it. And then one day I realized that something was growing in this pot, and I thought it was some type of weed, so I even yanked it out. And that's when I found out that it was actually the vampire dahlia that came back to life. And now that's a very gothic story, isn't it? This time around, it looks so much better. It looks so much healthier. Based on my experience from last year, I have placed this pot under a tree where I'm hoping that it'll get all the shade that it needs. The way a true Gothic plant should be, where it doesn't need much sun to survive. Okay, this is the first flower it produced. Look how beautiful that red is. It's very vibrant. You can't really see it in the video, but in the middle it's dark. It's kind of like, as you see the stems, that's kind of like how it is. It's this very dark color, and then you have this very intense red, blood red, coming out from it. It's just such a beautiful plant. This Dracula vampire um, Dahlia, it's so beautiful, and I'm definitely going to buy it again next, hopefully maybe next year. So now that I know how to take care of it. Something that I was really hoping for this plant was to have this plant full of red flowers. However, that didn't happen because some flowers would bloom and then they die, and then the others would bloom. So there was never one point where you had all these red flowers, and it had that kind of cycle. I have to mention also that the flowers that are blooming from this plant aren't as big as the one that I showed you earlier. And I'm thinking that maybe it has to do with it not getting a lot of sun. So what I did one day, I placed it under full sun, but it quickly started drooping, and so I had to place it back under the tree. It's a very delicate plant, so I'm thinking maybe it needs partial shade and partial sun, somewhere where it can get enough sun, but also it's not going to burn it to death. In conclusion, if you are shooting for a Gothic garden, the Dracula Dark Angel Dahlia definitely must be a part of your garden. It is just absolutely stunning. It's very Gothic. It gives honor to its name. It looks like a vampire, really. It looks like a vampire plant. And it has all the appropriate colors. And the birds love it, the bees love it. It's a win-win situation. Your garden will definitely love it. And as you can see there in the background, I've added that other statue there. I moved it, so now I have two water stations for the birds so that they're not fighting over that one water bowl that I had put on there initially. So everybody's happy now.